What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jerome. Sorry that I'm late, but I'm here nonetheless with a review for 11 Hip Hop Hollywood. This is season 5, episode number 11, titled Bad Grandmas. So without further ado, let's get the video started. Alright, so the episode opened up where it ended last week, and that was with the girls over there in London. And you know, the aftermath of the two interviewers asking Tierra where they can find her sex tape, which was rude as fuck. And like I said, it opened up with Bridget upstairs at the door trying to talk to Tierra. Tierra was upset and not wanting to talk to her, which I completely understand why Tierra was upset. And then, you know, you go back downstairs and you got the rest of the girls down there. And then they talking about what happened. And Bridget comes downstairs and she's visibly upset, but she had every right to be. She was upset about the whole thing between LaBrittany and Brooke, which it was more so Brooke. And then Brooke pissed me off even more when she was in her interview talking about, you know, her interview was boring. Okay, if it was boring, that ain't got shit to do with you. Mind your business and stay the fuck out of hers and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, Nikki wants to try to get into it with Bridget talking about, you know, that one, you know, trying to get into it with Bridget about the interviewers. That was them that asked her that question, not Bridget. Bridget didn't put them up to doing that. Bridget didn't have anything to do with that. So I don't get where Nikki was coming from. If Nikki wanted to check anybody, check Brooke. Check Brooke. Because Brooke should have never went outside in the first place. When you saw that Bridget was doing her interview, let Bridget do her interviews and be like, okay, whoop-de-whoop, and, you know, move on from that. And then they start to mention Akbar and K. Michelle. And that's when Tierra finally comes downstairs and she's like, why y'all talking about Akbar? And, you know, they talking about, you know, him on K. Michelle's live and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, Tierra wants to know why Moniece never said anything to her. And Moniece is like, you know, well, I found out all this stuff when you found out, so it wasn't really much that I could tell you. And I was not here for them coming at Moniece the way that they did. Like, I mean, I get it. Moniece is friends with K. Michelle, but Moniece cannot control what K. Michelle does or doesn't do. So I thought that was really stupid as fuck. Like, I was confused by that. Oh God. All right, then we got this thing where Paris is in the bathtub of Bridget and Brooke's room, having what looked like a Reverend Run moment. And, you know, that was a cute little scene. And then you got Moniece downstairs. You know, she's talking to Nikki about her food being eaten, and then, you know, how she's trying to contact, you know, Cameron, because she got him a phone, so that way she don't have to bother Drew and all that kind of stuff. And she hasn't heard from him, so she's a little bit upset, which I'm like, okay, that was a filler little scene, but whatever. But they're all getting ready for this high tea event that Bridget is having. So they get to the high tea, and, you know, Bridget tells Paris that she wants her to be the MC at her show that she's having out there. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then, you know, they start to play a game of Never Have I Ever. And the first question was, I know one question was, never have I ever had a threesome. And I think it was never have I ever sucked somebody's toes, I think, something like that. And then, you know, the threesome one, Brooke got offended by it because Miss Nikki Baby asked that question. So, you know, Brooke wants to be messy and say, well, never have I ever slept with Solo Lucci. And, you know, Nikki got upset because she was like, I've never slept with him. Like, who told you that? Like, whoever said that is a lie and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, Brooke, first of all, I never thought that, you know, when she said never have I ever had a threesome, I didn't put two and two together that she was talking about you. So how did you put that together? But if that's what Brooke wanted to say to make herself feel better, go ahead and say it, Brooke, because we really don't give a shit. All right, and then we have Bridget's showcase that she's having. You have LaBrittany performing. It was an okay performance. It wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst. And then, you know, Paris is doing the MCing. Paris actually did a really good job MCing. And, you know, you got Bridget Kelly performing. I liked her song. And then, you know, they go sit down, and the girl, Lady Lashira, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I think that's her name. She was, you know, sitting with LaBrittany, and I forgot who else was with them. I know it was Bridget. I think it was Brooke. I'm not positive. I can't remember that much. She was sitting with them, you know, chit-chatting with them, but then she finally got up and leave. And then the other girls come back over there and join them. And, Nikki is telling them how she's going to go back to the States and all that kind of stuff. And in her interview, she gave the excuse that it was because of her brother committing suicide and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to really say that was an excuse, but I don't know, because I don't really know what time of year he committed suicide, and I don't remember. I know when they filmed this, so I don't really remember all the logistics about that. And, Brooke feeling like Nikki is leaving because of what happened and the high tea and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, Brooke, get over yourself. Alright, then we move over to Ray J with this stupid ass father figure Friday shit. So, Ray is all happy about, his baby girl and all that kind of stuff, which he should be. And then he's sitting here asking Rockstar for advice. I'm like, Rockstar is the last nigga I would ever ask for any kind of advice on anything in life. Like, literally, motherfucker is the last person I would ask for some advice. And then to think that a Rockstar actually had a child, like, I feel bad for that child. I hope that mama has that child 24/7 and Rockstar just has a child on the weekend, because that is a badass influence on that child. Like, ugh. Because he's like, Rockstar is completely unprofessional. And in this scene, they gonna sit here and start talking about Moniece and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, why the fuck are y'all sitting here talking about Moniece? Like, it's stupid. Talking about her panic attack or whatever she had. I don't know if, well, I think she said it was some medicine that she was taking. They changed it up. Shit, didn't get it. Which that is, I know I've heard of it, when people up their doses or lower their dosage on their medication, it can have, an adverse effect on them, which it probably did with Moniece. And I just was not here for Ray and him joking about that shit and all that kind of stuff. Like, really? And then, so now Ray J is like I said, he wanted to do this Father Figure Friday. He wants all the guys there, with the exception of Clutch and Pearls, which I'm like, okay. Because Ray J is still in his feelings about what happened at the poker night and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, Ray J, the poker night stuff, actually the poker night and the couple's dinner that you invited Safari to, you did all this stuff, and you don't see that you poked the bear a little bit, fanning the flames of the fire, like, playing ding dong ditch and running and all that kind of shit. Like, you are the cause of why A1 did what he did. My neighbor's dogs. Like, you are the cause of what happened. Like, get the fuck out of here with that one. And then they're gonna sit here and talk about, we don't even know if A1 gonna be a daddy. Like, oh my god. And then talking about Rockstar, you could be the daddy, or Safari could be the daddy. I'm like, really? And then Rockstar, he just like really gets on my nerves. He gives me the vibe of a nigga who has never gotten pussy a day in his life, even though he has a child. Like, was it sympathy sex or something? Or were you trying to prove something? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the vibe I get when I look at Rockstar, and disgusted at that. All right, then you got the guys. They are meeting up for this Father Figure Friday. They are going bumper car or something like that. Now, when Ray J said Father Figure Friday, I'm thinking maybe you're going to do something that has your kids involved in it. Like, I get yours is just a newborn, but the other guys, I thought that they probably would have brought, never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. So, now Ray J is telling Marcus, well, actually Marcus asked about Clutch and Pearls, and Ray J says that, he's not a father and he may not be a father. I'm like, Ray J, you don't know that. Stop repeating shit that you don't know. Like, it's stupid as fuck. Like I said, you started this shit. It's all because of you. That's why you and your boy are in the position that y'all in right now. And then, once they sit down, Marcus is talking about the girls' drama over there in London and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, because Brooke told him what's going on. And I'm like, did she fail to mention to you that she is the main cause of what's going on over there? Just asking, did she mention that to you? And then, what's his name? Solo Lucci, he's talking about how he got a girl over there. And they name off all the girls over there. And they get to Nikki. He doesn't really say yes or no, but kind of makes a little... And you can kind of just by guessing he's talking about Nikki and all that kind of stuff. So then Rockstar does show up, and when he got there, at first it looked like Solo Lucci and Marcus were not feeling him, because Solo Lucci met him when they were at that event where Clutch and Pearls and Rockstar got into it with each other. But then once Ray J said he's a producer and named off who he worked with, that's when Solo Lucci's demeanor changed and all that kind of stuff. The only person in this whole scene that I have respect for was Marcus, because Marcus got up and left when Rock started talking about, it was a bumpy ride and all this kind of stuff, and she was dry as the Sahara Desert. I'm like, nigga, you acting like a nigga that ain't never got pussy before in his life. Like, chill out. Like I said, the only person in that whole scene I respected was Marcus, because you got Ray J over there doing the same shit that Rockstar is doing. I'm like, Ray J, you childish as fucking. You got a baby. You know what? Both of y'all niggas can take advice from each other, because y'all both the same dumb and childish. All right, so then we got Little Lyrica. She's in a beach house with Big Lyrica, and then you got Mama Dap and Clutch and Pearls. They come. So basically, the whole thing is for them to get together this weekend, and I guess the thing was for Mama Dap and Big Lyrica to kind of mend the fences with each other. But I'm like, y'all really are trying hard. Like, y'all can't force two people who don't like each other to get along with each other, because of what it is Diamonds and Pearls, shout out to Forest Rocks, and Little Lyrica, they gonna stay in a other beach house, and Mama Dap, again, shout out to Forest Rocks, and Big Lyrica are gonna stay in the house that they in right now. And I'm like, that shit is not gonna work. And then when Mama Dap called Big Lyrica Tina Turner, I cried. I'm like, oh my God, this shit is gonna be funny. Now, here's the other thing that I noticed with that whole scene. Like, everybody in that scene had fucked up ass wigs, including Clutch and Pearls. Like, Mama Dap's wig, it didn't even have a part in it. Little Lyrica's wig, I don't know what the fuck was up with Little Lyrica's and Big Lyrica's Cowardly Lion looking ass wigs. Like, those look like some Cowardly Lion ass looking wigs. Like, and then you got Clutch and Pearl's wig. I'm like, yours, like, who the fuck? Where the, do y'all all buy y'all wigs from Party City? Like, or do y'all get them off the ground out there on the street when bitches fight each other and just, put the little pieces together and all that kind of shit? Like, oh my God, this shit was horrible. All right, so then we got Big L and Mama Dap. They are talking to each other, and they're talking about the baby again. And Big L's like, you still believe that shit that bitch ass K Michelle said? And I'm like, Big L, it wasn't just K Michelle. It was also Brooke and Marcus who said this shit, and Safari himself who said this shit. So you can't keep blaming that bitch ass K Michelle, as she want to call her. But like I said, I do get where Big Lyric is coming from when it comes to Mom and Dad, because that's your daughter-in-law. Like, you should believe her a little bit, unless it was a repeated history of her doing some shit like this. And she like, well, my son and your daughter went together, so it's kind of odd when they get back together that she's pregnant. And I'm like, Mama Dap, you don't really know the logistics of their marriage. True enough, they were separated, but you don't know if during that separation time they got together one time and fucked, and that might be the one time she got pregnant. And I know that they were on Wendy Williams. I don't know if that was yesterday's episode or today's episode, where they revealed that they are having a boy, and they revealed the paternity of the baby, which I don't remember. I didn't watch it, so I don't really know what was said. All I know is when it comes to these two, I am over them completely. But hey, Mona, can you give Mama Dap and Big L a TV show of their own? Like, that shit would be hilarious. It would be senior edition of Bad Girls Club, like, for real. So basically, Big L says that she wants to be an example for them grown ass kids. I'm like, you just said the magic word. They are grown ass kids, so you can't really be an example for two people who are adults. And they basically say that if anything, when they want to come to each other, if they feel some type of way, which they should have been doing that from the beginning. So then we move over to the scene where they at the beach with each other. So Big L wants to show Mama Dap a video footage of when they went to the doctor and got a sonogram of the baby, and Mama Dap is in her feelings like, well, why the hell was you there and I wasn't there? She was like, well, my daughter Lyrica, little Lyrica, she invited me. And she was like, that ain't right that they invited you. She said, well, you might want to take that up with your son, that he didn't invite you. Which I agree with Big L. That is not her fault that Diamonds and Pearls did not invite you to the doctor's office. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with Big L. That is between you and your son completely. Her daughter invited her. Your son could have invited you easily, but he chose not to. And you kind of, I can't say you can't wonder why he invite you. Like, you cannot. Like, y'all probably would have got into it with each other at the doctor's office. Like, imagine that shit. They at the doctor's office, and one of them want to say one thing, and then the other one just flips out, and it would have been a whole melee scene. So, Mama Dap, once again, is talking about getting a DNA test. And, Big L is like, I know you're not serious. You cannot be serious. You are straight up disrespectful as fuck. And then, Mama Dap get her big ass up looking like, Chicken Little in that yellow ass. God, she should have put a shawl on her. She should have covered her arms up, her legs up, her ass. She should have covered everything up because nobody wants to see that shit. But they got into a fight with each other. She threw a chair at her. And I'm like, oh my God, senior citizens gone wild. Oh God. All right, then the last thing I'm gonna talk about is gonna be Apple. I actually feel like I like Apple, and I really do. Her story is something that really is kind of sad because she meet with a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whichever one it was, and she's talking about her life and all that kind of stuff. She was talking about rape and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, God, like she's been through a lot as a child and even as an adult. Like, I hope that this show does actually help Apple a whole lot. I don't know what this whole Sean Love thing is going to do for her, but I do hope that something good and positive comes from Apple being on this show. Maybe she can be like a Cardi B. Cardi B, K Michelle, any of them. I just hope something good happens for Apple because, listening to her story, it's just really sad and all that kind of stuff. And, she's talking about how she wants answers from her dad and all that kind of stuff. And, she just wants to know the truth about why he never came back for her. So, because she has trust issues with him, and Apple is the one that actually sought out to find her dad. I think she said 6 years ago and all that kind of stuff. And I actually know, I get where she's coming from with a lot of stuff with trust issues and all that kind of stuff because I have them as well from my biological mother. So I definitely get where Apple's coming from with that. So her dad does come in there, and he sits down, and the doctor is talking to him all that kind of stuff. Now, he threw me off when, the doctor tried to make trying to make an analogy or something between the man that she's, chosen in her life and compare him. And then he tries to say that he's not trying to sleep with her. And that wasn't what she was trying to say, that you were trying to sleep with her. It's just the fact that, she was trying to draw a comparison and you took it completely to another level. So she asked him about her mom. He said that he and her mom were dating up until the point that she had Apple, which I'm like, God. So after she had your baby, you dip out on her like that's some cowardly ass shit. And then, basically what it is, he's trying to make up for the past, but that's going to be a work in progress because, he's talking about he always texting her, calling her, trying to check up on her. And Apple is like, that's awkward for her, which I definitely get it. If you never did it before, why are you trying to do it so heavily now? Like, I don't get it. So, Apple basically he was like, so do you want me to, back off? She said, yeah, just be a part-time dad, not try to be a full-time dad. And then the doctor said, yeah, be part-time, but don't completely disappear from her life. So, I hope that things work out for Apple and her dad, and I actually hope things work out for Apple herself. Because like I said, I really do like Apple, but that was Loving the Hip Hop. Like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. When this video starts recording.